Well, hello, hello. Welcome back to the podcast, mamas. Hope everybody is doing wonderful for the beginning of the week. It is a very cold day today, especially since it's Halloween. So I am not sure if my kids are going to go trick or treating today. I know they're doing like the whole Halloween parade at school. That might be the best it's going to get because it's supposed to snow. Yes. Illinois is just a very interesting state. So it is, I'm telling you, this West Coast girl is not used to the Midwest. And I'm hoping maybe one day I could go back to the West Coast because my mother would appreciate that. So it is just a very cold day today. One of those days you want to stay inside. So, on this week's episode, I wanted to talk about something that's really important when it comes to our special needs kids and our medically complex kiddos, which is resources. Resources are something that are big, especially after we get a diagnosis, if they need additional therapies, if they need additional help, and things of that sort. So what I started doing one day is because I know when we Google and we internet search, there isn't a lot that really comes up as far as resources for our medically complex kiddos. And so I started pulling a list together because it had been a long time since I sought out any resources, considering that I now live in a different state. And in the state that I came from, there were very few resources, lack thereof. And now, being in the current state that I'm in, there seemed to be maybe a little bit more, not much, but a little bit more. And I know through like the school district, they do offer, some free courses and some free classes and things like that to kind of get you knowledgeable and educate you on certain things when it comes to special needs kids. So what I've pulled together, and you will find this in the show notes, I've created a PDF document with links that you can check out to see if any of these resources really apply to you. I know that some of the deadlines on some of these resources have passed, which I should have talked about on an early episode. However, life's and things just happen. So, but it's a good thing because when 2024 comes around, you can start to get information and things like that maybe some of these applications do need. And you can pull it together. So then when it's time to apply, you've got everything there. So the first thing that I want to share with you is the number one resource that I really had to go to that can give you a wealth of information, and it's categorized by states so that you can go to your specific state and see if there's any state resources locally, things like that, and even nationally, is kidswaiver.org. Like I said, everything will be in the show notes so that you have a link, and I will provide the PDF guide. So don't worry, just hear me out on this episode, okay? So kidswaiver.org is a great resource list, and they have everything by state. So all 50 states that can give you some other links to other resources that you can go ahead and see if you qualify for different things for your child. And of course, the state health and human services, that is another great website to go ahead and look to see what types of state resources or grants or money or programs that you can find for your child. I know I went through that when I lived in Nevada, and the resources were just very slim, and I would have to go to the surrounding states to try to find something for my child. So the state resources, as far as the health and human services, is a really great place to start. So this kidswaiver.org is a really great place to start because it can give you a wealth of information. And a lot of times what I've done is I've gone to the office and said, hey, I have a disabled child. that's medically complex. I have a child with autism. I'm looking for help. How can you help me? And a lot of times these offices will give you like a list of resources of places you can call, email, websites, whatever they have to help you out. Now, there is another resources, especially like if it's therapy assistance, if it's speech, if you need to get a fence, like a grant for a fence, especially with our autism children, because I have a daughter with autism, and it could, they could build you a fence and you can qualify for this grant. So there is a therapy assistant grant that is provided through I believe it's the Chicago Autism Network.org. So if you live in Illinois and in the city of Chicago, that is a great resource. And I know there's also other therapy assistants that are, like nationwide. So the other one that I did find was Small Steps in Speech. So that one was a great resource. And I know that I think their deadline is tomorrow. So it would be a great resource to apply for, especially if your kiddo needs speech therapy, like additional speech therapy, because we all know like your IEPs, if your child goes to school or if you homeschool, you need those additional therapies, like getting them involved in the Head Start early intervention programs. They only give you enough help until your child is 3 years old, because at 3, they go directly into the school system if that's what you choose. Okay. But if you homeschool your child, which I hope to do that maybe in the future, and that will be another episode that I will talk about, because there are pros and cons, especially when you have medically complex kiddos, special needs kiddos, and homeschooling. And it's something to consider and weigh the pros and the cons if that's the right decision for your child, right? So another resource that I did find was Feeding Tube Awareness program. That is very big, especially with medically complex kids. I know my daughter is a tube-fed child, and that is something that is huge, especially to get resources with feeding, help with feeding, supplies, things like that. So there is a grant for that. And then the one program that I did find, as far as like a grant for a fence, this is like Autism Care Today. That one you can apply to get a fence built around your home when we have children with autism who elope. I know my child, oh, you let her go, she elopes. Trust me. It is like I am a track star runner running after this 8-year-old that's like taller than most of the 8-year-olds out there, right? So these are just a few resources. And like I said, I will have that PDF guide that you can look at, check it out for yourself. And I know some of these deadlines have passed, and I apologize for that. That will really get you started if your child has a brand new diagnosis, or if you're just looking for additional resources and you're saying, I don't know where to turn to. Where do I need to look? I figured that this would be a good way and a good avenue to pass on that information, because we don't gatekeep here. Okay. Because as special needs mamas, we need to help each other out as much as we can. Right. So these are just some good resources, but I would start at kidswaiver.org, because a lot of times you need to get your child on that medical waiver. I know I have my kids on medical waiver, and it's the best thing, because then that social worker will give you all those tools and resources and help, and tell you as far as how much money per year you can use towards therapies and things of that sort that you need for your child. So I hope this was really helpful for you. And I will have all those resources and the guide in the show notes. If you feel that you need some help with self-care and some self-empowerment and just want to level up your 2.0 self, grab my masterclass. It's really good. And I talk about all the things as far as self-care, because as a special needs mom, self-care is a non-negotiable. You need to do it. And I have to force myself to do it, because if I don't, I'm yelling at my kids. I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting, short with them. And that's not what you need, especially when you're taking care of them and they rely on you for all their needs. So go grab my masterclass. It's, a 3-part series. It's really good. There's a workbook that's included with it. It's a private podcast. So on the go, if you like to see the videos, there's a private Facebook group. So I will have all the information in the show notes for you as far as that. And I have a new coaching program. Let's say if you need some more support, you need more help, you need to really learn how to talk to the doctors, how to navigate the school system, how to find more resources, how to really get out of that mindset that's really negative, how to really create routines for your child. My new coaching program will help you do all of this. I have constructed a really good coaching program. I am opening the doors in a few weeks. And I really just embrace this wonderful community of special needs moms because we can all band together and really help each other out and support each other. It's a very supportive group where we have weekly coaching calls. If you want to know more information on my coaching program, check out the link in the show notes. It will give you all the details. And if you're interested, I am doing a pre-sale sign up where you can get founding members price for my coaching program. So it's at a special discounted rate and it's super amazing. I'm super excited about it because I just love being in a space with other special needs moms and just really helping them to be empowered and to help them. So make sure you check out the show notes, check out all the things, and hope you guys have a wonderful week. If you go trick-or-treating, make sure to be safe out there and just all the things. So hope you guys have a wonderful day and we will chat next week.